everyone. Thank you very much for joining us for our Spotlight webinar featuring our communication department. In today's session, you'll hear directly from this department and their staff and all the amazing opportunities they have available for future Tritons. Before we get started, here are a few quick housekeeping notes. Today's webinar is being recorded. A copy will be available in about 2 weeks on our undergraduate admission events recording page, so you can revisit the information at your convenience. The Zoom Q&A feature is enabled. Please submit any questions related to communication department and they will address it as they go through their presentation. Additionally, if you have any admission related questions, we do have an admission officer working in the background who would be more than happy to address any of those admission related questions as well. So don't hesitate to drop them in the chat. This session is scheduled for 45 minutes. We'll do our best to answer all the questions submitted, but if there are some questions that remain unanswered, we do ask for you to follow up either directly to the department or to reach out to the undergraduate admissions office via our contact us form and would be more than happy to forward it to the communication department to correspond with you directly. To enable captions, click the live transcript icon in your Zoom toolbar and select Show Captions. The deadline to submit your application is December 1st, so we do encourage you to avoid submitting at the very last minute. To support your final stages, we have a couple of more November webinars remaining. If you haven't already, please visit our undergraduate admission events page to register and make sure you don't miss important tips and tricks before submitting your application. We do have a Insights from an Admission Officer held on November 13th and November 18th. So they will feature some additional insights for you to keep in mind before you submit your application. So if you haven't done so, head on over to our webpage and register for those webinars. And we also will have our UC San Diego Enhanced Tour. So if you haven't had an opportunity to visit campus or live nearby us, we do encourage you to register for Friday, November 14th, where you can explore campus and hear from housing, financial aid, and undergraduate, and additionally take a campus tour led by our own students. If you're joining us late or missed any of our September and October webinars, we encourage you to visit the event recordings page on the undergraduate admissions website under resources. There you can access a wealth of content covering important topics and insights, including how to rank the colleges, housing and dining, academic departments, and much more. New content is uploaded every week, so make sure you check out that page regularly. After tonight's webinar, if you have any follow-up questions related to undergraduate admissions, such as the UC application, transcript, or campus tours, please connect with our office through the Contact Us form on our website located under the resource section. From there, you can submit your inquiry directly or browse our FAQ section, which addresses many common questions and concerns. And with that, it is my great pleasure to introduce our distinguished department, communication. So, team, I will ask you to hop on over and I will hand it off to you.
Thank you so much, and thank you all for coming today. I am Professor Shauna Kidman. I've been in the communication department here at UCSD for about 10 years, and I'm so excited to share all that we have to offer tonight. So let me have 1 second to share my screen. All right, and can everybody see my first slide here?
Yes, you're good, Professor Shwana.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to get started with the biggest question that we usually have here in communication, which is what actually is communication and what is it at UCSD, because it is a little bit different at this school than it might be at the school you're currently at if you're a transfer student or what you understand as an undergraduate student. So social media, the internet, podcast platforms like Spotify, data collection, AI, these are all technologies and communication systems that are not just an everyday, but an every minute part of our lives. They also shape our political and cultural institutions. They connect us globally, and on fundamental levels, they impact the way we understand ourselves and our communities. Broadly, this is what we study here in COM. Now, you might imagine, and you would be correct, that other disciplines and other academic departments also study these topics. So, sociology, anthropology, history, literature, international studies all examine communication in our changing world. But this department, communication at UCSD, this is where all of these perspectives converge. We are an interdisciplinary program. So that means that we have faculty from media studies, from information studies, and journalism, and political science, and public health, and education, and linguistics, and sociology, and more. And we put together all of that expertise to focus on these particular areas. Now, at the moment, we are offering two major programs as well as a minor. So I want to get into some of the details so you understand what our department is all about. This chart provides a pretty good summary, and all of this will be available online and provide, perhaps you already have a link to it in the chat. But I want to add some context. We have our general communication major. This is a broad interdisciplinary program, and it is a curriculum with both strong liberal arts education and hands-on learning opportunities. So students will get practice in designing and producing media, in conducting field work, working towards social justice, and doing research at faculty-directed community sites. Students will learn on a regular basis how to interpret and analyze media texts, how to read and decode digital publications and digital data, how to evaluate the role of technology and social change in cultural production, and how to critique representations. In comm, we're also always looking at things like power differentials and systemic stereotyping and historical erasures. So this is a good home for students who want to engage in really heady conversations about race, gender, sexuality, class, policing, surveillance, and war. We welcome all of these kinds of conversations in comm. Media Industries and Communication is our newer major, and it is our version of a media studies program. So traditional media programs are usually focused just on media. They'll look at artistic forms, cultural appreciation, perhaps, sometimes production. We here are interested in the whole system. So the industry, the economics, the labor, the politics, the law. So students can do production. They can make short films or podcasts. But if they want to be an agent or an entertainment lawyer or a marketer or a multimedia journalist or a web entrepreneur, we are preparing them for all of those futures as well. We want our students to be able to analyze a movie and understand representation, but we also want them to see how things actually work behind the scenes, including the unglamorous stuff. And we're pretty unsnobby when it comes to media. So a lot of universities will see media as being film or maybe TV, but to us, it's all pretty much equal. So we're as interested in looking at social media or internet memes or video games or marketing or live events or tabletop gaming or pretty much anything else you can imagine. All of that fits within our curriculum. All of these forms of media occupy a really important space in our media landscape. So we want students to understand how they're different, how they're similar, how they're connected, and how all of these things are changing so rapidly. And finally, we have a comm minor. I see this as kind of a bonus or add-on to pretty much any major on campus. If you are in biology or business or dance or music, having a comm degree can be incredibly helpful. It's proof that you can read and write, and it really allows you to learn to speak to contemporary media and technology in meaningful ways. Okay, so what does that actually look like on the ground? What kind of classes will you be taking? This is just a quick sampling of some of our elective courses, which are hopefully exciting to some of you out there in webinar land. And here's some additional posters for some very recent classes that we've hosted. A really wide variety and really exciting to a lot of our students. And in case you are curious, these classes are taught by world-class faculty doing cutting-edge research in academia, and also making some respected and award-winning films. These are just some of the books that our faculty have published just in the last 2 years. These are all very recent publications of our faculty members. One thing that we have been really focused on here in COM is student success, and that includes students who sometimes struggle. We take a lot of pride in the fact that our time to degree is excellent, and we often, or actually always, beat out the School of Social Sciences, which we're a part of, and the university average. We have a very good record in student completion, and the vast majority of our students are finishing on time or even early. That means that if you want to study abroad or do the UCSD program in Sacramento or DC, or you need to work to help your family, or you're focused on internships, or you want a double major, we see you. We want to make sure that you get all of those opportunities. That's what that's what COM is really about, is providing you a wide range of opportunities. And we also really want to serve students in all different kinds of circumstances. And a lot of this is a result of our timeline here. Finishing either of our major programs in 2 years is very manageable. It is not hard to get into our required courses, even though we are quite a big major, and we don't have a lot of complicated course sequences. So students are able to enroll in the courses they need in the time they have. Overall, we also have a relatively low course load within the university, 13 and 15 classes respectively, a couple of which can be replaced by transfer credits if you are a transfer student coming from a community college. Um, just the same, it is important for me to note that we truly believe in our curriculum. We teach skills and understanding that are lasting and that prepare students for a really broad range of futures. And that brings me to kind of a hot topic that I think COM can speak to, and one that I think is increasingly on everyone's minds, including our students. With the rise of AI in the last couple of years, I think many people feel like the world is changing so quickly that they may not even be able to keep up. And I don't want to claim to have all of the answers here in COM. However, we do have a hell of a lot of expertise. So computer scientists are the ones who invent the technologies, and data scientists learn to use them. But neither of those fields, excuse me, spend a lot of time understanding how these technologies will actually get used and monetized by consumers. And they don't spend a lot of time thinking about how technologies like this impact us culturally, socially, and economically. But that is exactly what we do here in COM. We have some of the best scholars in the country specializing in the intersection of technology and society. And this is what we teach our students about. We do some hard skills. We do teach about the technology, but our bread and butter is really the history, the theory, and the context. We want to understand what goes on in the world and what goes on when we interact with technology by reading between the lines, putting complex information in historical context, interpreting cultural phenomenon, identifying broad historical or political trends, even in murky situations, and generating original and creative solutions for everyday problems. Now, if you go out and ask AI developers, and in COM, we do that, we do it all the time. These kinds of skills are the exact skills that AI fails miserably at. They are fundamentally human skills, and that is not about to change anytime soon. So So while I cannot predict the future, I feel very confident that if you want to succeed in the long run, that you have to go back to some of these fundamentals. And I personally believe that nobody does these fundamentals like we do in comm. So, what does that actually mean for our students' futures? What kinds of jobs does a degree in communication get you? Well, we have surveyed our alumni, and they work in every sector you can imagine. Now, they tend to be more heavily focused in media and cultural sectors. But we also have hundreds of comm alumni in healthcare and business and education. Some work at small companies or startups or self-employed, but you can also find our comm alumni at every major entertainment company, pharmaceutical, and tech firm that you can think of. And these are just a few of them listed here on the right. They have all the regular jobs you might imagine, comm alumni, right? Journalists, teachers, lawyers, CEOs. But I think where our graduates really thrive and the roles you see most often are 21st century jobs that don't really fit into these neat categories. These are the kind of jobs that are new or that possibly don't even exist yet, that our alumni invent and create along the way. And I think right now, especially, these are the kinds of jobs that are really the most important because I think this next generation is going to have to invent the new job market as they go. And that's really what we're trying to prepare our students for. I wonder if now would be a good time to shortly pause for questions, Melanie, or should I keep going?
Hey there, all. I'm the undergraduate advisor in the communication department. We've been answering some questions already in the
Okay.
Q&A, and happy to continue that going by typing. So I think we're good.
Okay, so I'll go through just a few more slides. Thank you, Melanie. She's always very helpful. We have a wonderful staff. Okay, so a few of our program highlights. First, the honors program. We have a really fantastic honors program. It's a year-long sequence where our students write what is the equivalent of a master's thesis. Although there are a lot of creative projects as well, most years we have at least one student make a film, and these are wonderful short films. Our students in honors will work closely with a faculty mentor. I'm currently working with a student on a thesis about Formula One racing, and they're trying to understand how the politics of the international organization, FIA, have prevented women from becoming drivers. Right? Just one of the many projects we're doing right now. These honor students also work really closely with the honors cohort. This is usually about a dozen students who get incredibly close, and many of them go on to graduate school. They are incredibly prepared to go on to MA and PhD programs, but I have personally had at least three former honor students who have gone directly on to law school and performed incredibly well in that field. We also have a fabulous media production program. Our campus media lab for all of UCSD is located in the communication building. So that means we have cameras and lights and editing suites, a TV studio, a film studio, a podcasting studio, lots of digital media equipment. And UCSD students across campus have access to this equipment and these workshops from the Media Center. But it is really in communication that we provide a full education to support these media production skills. We have three full-time tenured production faculty who are real-life awarded world-renowned independent filmmakers. I personally did my PhD at USC Film, and I will tell you, you do not find faculty of this caliber at programs like that. They are phenomenal teachers, and they bring their students on as collaborators in their films on occasion. And they have developed a full production track to support these students, from intro to media production to editing to sound to CGI animation. We screen student projects at the end of the year in our UCSD Student Film Festival. We have fellowships for student projects, and we have a ton of great camaraderie in our in our production program. We also have a lot of opportunities for community engagement. And a little while, you're going to hear from Professor Alex Vital, who is the founder of AJA, a San Diego-based media arts nonprofit that does work with immigrant and transborder youth. And he regularly brings artists into his classroom and he helps bring students into his organization. Undergraduate students taking our 102 course will work with an after-school program in Southeast San Diego. We have courses on media activism and in human rights advocacy, and we have faculty workers who regularly organize trips across the border for humanitarian aid and field work. Our department has been on the front lines of activism campaigns around a large number of social issues on and off this campus, and we love to bring our students into that space. And we see that organizing and engaged spirit emerge in our own student body. So in the communication department, we have the Undergrad Comm Society, UCS, and this is a group of undergrads who've gotten together on their own and they organize events and gatherings, and they also function as a kind of networking community, and it is a fabulous group. Finally, we are the home of UCSD's speech and debate team. It is a massive and incredibly inclusive team with more than 100 members. It is one of the best performing teams in the state, but participation on it is really flexible. Speech and debate is now a part of our curriculum, so you can get course credit for some aspects of your participation. And this year we have a brand new debate coach, a permanent faculty position in our department. So we are really kind of going big on this program, and I think it is going to grow into something really special. Those are just the basics. I think the heart of our department is really our students and our faculty. So in a few minutes, you're going to hear from Alex Vital, and our associate professor in communication, and also Elisa Oliveris and Lorraine Diosa. But first, we are going to have our fabulous undergrad advisor, Melanie Lynn, so she can more directly address some of your questions.
Well, as it turns out, it seems that our questions have been answered in the Q&A, which is great. Please feel free to continue posting them there. We're happy to answer them as they come on in. And I think that might lend us some extra time then for Professor Fatal and our undergraduate students to have their conversation.
Fantastic.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Professor Kidman, Melanie. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce Lorraine Diosa and Elisa Olivares, our two undergraduate students who are each extraordinary and kind of exemplary in just what is an amazing student body. So first, Lorraine Diosa is a junior, and she's media industries and communication major, double majoring with business economics and a minor in marketing. She's also a peer advisor. And thank you so much for joining us, Lorraine. And we have Elisa Olivares, who's a senior and a media industries and communication major, a peer advisor, also in the honors program, and also the president of the Undergraduate Comm Society. So wears lots of hats. And so I thought I would start off by first posing a question to you, Lorraine. We were talking the other day about how comm was a place where you found your passion. And I think, this is the case with so many of our students. Because of our diverse offerings, they really find their path once they're here. Was there a particular class or experience that has been transformational for you?
Yeah, I guess I'll start with like a little bit of an anecdote. I started as a music major when I first came into UCSD, and I felt very lost, like as a first gen student as well, like not really knowing truly what I wanted to do. And there was an intense pressure to like know when you got here. And I just was like, no, I don't know. And once I kind of like began to take my JEGEs, began to like look into different degree programs, I came in across comm and I started taking the core classes. I started taking courses like Com 10, which is our intro class to the major, and like truly meeting people, taking classes that made me feel like I was doing something like meaningful and like truly figuring out what I wanted to do through the experiences in the department. And I would say those core classes and then the introduction of our new major, the MIC major, that really like pulled me in, and I feel like that's why I'm like now a peer advisor, now taking classes with even Professor Kidman. I'm working with Melanie, like truly unforgettable experiences that have allowed me to connect with the department and truly figure out all the classes that I'm taking that will bring me further in my like studies after I graduate from UCSD.
Thank you so much. Alyssa, do you want to share an experience or a class?
Yeah, definitely. Just like Lorraine was mentioning, also having that feeling of just like I felt like I had to know what I wanted to do. I was originally a pre-med student coming in, but a comm major. And once I started taking my upper division classes and getting involved with the comm department as a whole, being part of things like UCS at the beginning, that really I found community and taking classes such as Comm 102M, which is a production class that really connected me and kind of made me feel more sure. It gave me like a sense of like sureness that I hadn't felt like previously in my undergrad career. So definitely having classes offered like that, it's such an honor to like be part of a department like that. And that really helped me kind of get a sense of what I wanted to do.
So for people who don't know 102M, what was going on in 102M? What was, yeah.
Yeah, so 102M is a live production class. I learned how to use like a switcher. It was for we set up three cameras and it was live production. Also, we made scripts, kind of if you think about it like news type or like sitcoms, that kind of filming. And then also my professor took us on a tour to NBC, which that was, I'm interested in journalism, so that was a very like great like little excursion that we did that they offered. But yeah, I would definitely recommend taking Com 102M. It's been probably my favorite class since I've been here.
And those types of hands-on experiences, going to a studio, that is not unique. We pride ourselves on offering hands-on experiences. In one of my classes, cinema in Latin America, I fold in the San Diego Latino Film Festival, so students get involved in that and get to see the kind of backstage of the film festival, see what a film festival is all about, right? Um, Lorraine, I don't know if there's been some hands-on experiences, whether in a classroom or non-classroom experience that has been kind of important for you?
Yeah, like as mentioned before, I began working as a peer advisor for the department this past September, and it's given me like a really nice opportunity to get to know other comm students and then lend that helping hand of like students that need help or need that like verification of like, am I on track? Am I doing the right thing right now? Like, yes, you're meant to be here for a reason. These are the things that you're doing that you don't even realize you're doing, and it's propelling you forward. Being involved with UCS, taking a specific class that is something that you're interested in, and like hosting socials, hosting drop-in hours for students to just connect with other students and myself and the department itself as well. I feel like that has been super fulfilling in at least the past 6 weeks of me being in this position. But in regards to like classes that I've taken, I was taking Com 100A with Professor Harb, which definitely recommend taking a class with Professor Harb. And the first day I sat, first time in lecture, and I looked to the left. He's like, talk to someone, literally anyone. And I talked to this person. He's one of my closest friends now. He's pursuing something, a degree in like law and wanting to go into law. And he's an MIC major, which we declared together. And in my field of study, I hope to go into business and marketing. And I feel like the media industries classes, the 106 classes really inform all the things that I'm interested in and gives me that freedom to really like hands-on learn about the things that I intend to take with me after I leave the department. And I find that very fulfilling with the department. I've not found that with any other like major or like similar experience to other students, like being so connected with the department itself.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned Professor Harb's class. He teaches another very popular class called Texting and Talking, which is
Mm.
like a linguistic analysis of texting, you know? Um, so those are the types of classes that you can find in this department. In terms of experiential learning, I'm a major advocate of international education. So I'm going to be leading a global seminar to Oaxaca, Mexico, 5 weeks, two classes in Mexico this summer. I know Professor Schmidt led one last summer to Copenhagen, and the reviews from that are glowing. So all sorts of experiences in and outside of the classroom, and sometimes they come together. Um, so maybe Lorraine, Alyssa, if you can tell us maybe beyond your own experience, because you're, as you already noted, kind of struck up, long-lasting friendships among your peers. How are you thinking beyond your time at UCSD? What are some friends in the comm major thinking about? What are you thinking about in terms of your kind of post UCSD futures?
Yeah, so as a senior, I've definitely been thinking about what I want to do post grad. And I personally want to go into the field of journalism, in which I believe UCSD has given me a great amount of opportunities to kind of like get a feel for that field. I'm involved in The Guardian, which is our school newspaper. You do have to interview, but they make it in a way that they offer a lot of opportunities for incoming students. And you don't just have to be a comm major, just interested in the field. Also, the radio, KSDT, I'm a news broadcasting intern, which is also meant to be accessible as well. Just show interest, do your research, and as long as you're on top of it, you're welcome to be in the program. Um, but yeah, and in those programs, since you don't have to be comm specific, I've met like people that want to go into like a number of things, like, publishing and marketing is probably top with other comm majors. I know some friends want to go into fashion and they do like their own like sets and like their own photo shoots, which is like really cool to see and be part of. Film, a lot of my classmates want to go into film and they do short films and documentary styles. um, Also, I'm involved in the honors program this year, and there's a lot of production projects. I'm personally doing a podcast, but also some of my classmates are doing a film or like kind of narrative type of thing, um, which you're more than welcome to use that for your own thing, like, submit it to a festival or some sort. So definitely film, marketing, and then more practical careers such as journalism I've seen.
So I'll just jump in to say we have a state-of-the-art podcasting studio among our facilities. It's right across the door from my office here. So that's available, and we have classes on podcasting in addition to all the other studio space right in the building, as Professor Kidman was noting. Lorraine, I know you're a junior, but is this something that you're having conversations about with your friends?
Truly, yes. Like, I feel like I've met a lot of students that are transfer students now. So they're kind of like, even though I've been a third year, like continuing since my first year, I'm kind of at the same stage as students coming into goodness, coming into the department, and they're taking the same classes as I am, and they're interested in such various different like fields. As mentioned, like with Alyssa, she's hoping to go into journalism. I've had the privilege of meeting a lot of students who are interested in marketing like I am, law and society. I've had friends who really enjoy film and theater, so they're like their paths of like choosing the classes that they want. I feel like the comm department is so special in that way where they offer a broad spectrum of different types of classes. For the MIC major, specifically for me as a business economics major, I like to take those industry classes because it goes into depth about the TV industry or the internet industry and how the digital growing world is impacting everyday life, and like how would that inform a potential career in marketing or any field that seems interesting. And I just feel like it can be it can go anywhere. Truly in the department, you have this whole like department that is giving you resources to do your best, and you kind of like navigate through life and your studies at the same time, and it helps you figure out just like everything. Truly, being a comm major has changed everything for me, just by being involved and having resources available.
I would just add that, this combination of kind of practical and theoretical skills really equips you well to kind of rise in the ranks, that, to have these kind of difficult conversations about the structural dynamics in media industries. Um, I think we're we're preparing you not only kind of get these entry level jobs, but to really understand the broader structural contextual dynamics that will hopefully be recognized and really enable you to kind of move up and through the different ranks of whatever field that you choose. So um, we welcome questions right now in the chat, or if you want to reach out to us individually, we're happy to answer questions from uh, prospective students. So thank you so much for your interest in the comm department. And do we have time for any other questions right now?
I think we have time if anyone wants to ask questions directly. We're happy to have those, and we also have a video to show you as we wrap up here. Any questions? Okay, think about it for a moment. I am going to share my screen. We're going to show you this video. This is from our honors students, our honors cohort, talking about comm. And of course, this is a video shot, edited, produced, made entirely by UCSD communication students. Can everybody see the video? Yes, is it on your screen, Melanie and Lorraine and Lisa?
Don't see it just yet.
I see
I
like a
see.
desktop.
Yeah, you have it?
I
Just
see
see
Oh,
like
you're
desktop.
just,
progress.
sorry. One moment. Better? Okay, thank you. Okay, from our honor students.
Hi everyone, my name is Adela Andreani.
My name is Dayan Riz.
Audio.
I think we've lost some audio here. Professor.
The audio started and then we lost it.
Okay, give me 1 second. Sorry about this, everybody. Thank you for your patience. Hmm.
Meanwhile, is it okay if I answer a Q&A question?
Absolutely. Go
Okay.
ahead while I try to figure this out. Thank you.
Yeah, I see one that says, what advice would you give to incoming students to make the most? And I would say literally just ask and involve yourself in everything. And like, if like just include yourself in everything because that's like really the only way you're gonna like know what opportunities are. And I know it might sound cliche, but like the worst you can hear is like no. But that's really how I've gotten most of my positions. Just being in the Guardian, I'm part of the multimedia team, and it's really just like, hey, like, do you have any openings? And it turns out they did, you know. And then being part of UCS, um, which by the way is open all year round, just if you just attend a GBM. Um, so just include yourself in things, and you never know what kind of like peer you're gonna meet or like what who's gonna be there. Um, so yeah, just be nosy. That's what I would say.
Alyssa and Lorraine, would you be willing to also answer what the best part of being a comm student would be in your perspective?
Yeah, I feel like the best part of being a comm student for me is I love the production classes. I love how hands-on it is. I feel like that's how I learn best. And I love how like there seems to be like in like an outside of class like opportunity for literally anything you're interested in. Because like the major's so diverse, I just feel like there's a club for anything and everything. So it's definitely very like it's fun to be a comm student.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier like how easy it is to get access to resources in the department, which I think is very rare with other departments that I've seen in my own personal experience. But just being able like if you haven't gone through the communication department website yet, I highly recommend it. Melanie had me do it when I was onboarding, and I had no idea how much the comm department already has so like passively available to students, whether they're comm majors, comm minors, or prospective students. And genuinely just being able to have that access and know that there's help out there for me to help guide me in like this journey of mine is just super fulfilling. I think that's the best part of like having a community in comm.
Okay, I'm gonna try to share this video again. Here we go.
Well, that's a good question. My favorite course I've taken in the communication department has to be Professor Ward's class, How to Watch TV. I don't think that's how the actual course code is called. But it's a class all about TV shows and getting tools to analyze the art form that is television and how to unpack how it's used and how it's developed over time and different genres. And I'm a TV girl at heart, so that was my favorite class I've taken.
Okay, I would say COM 190 with Professor Boateng. It was kind of challenging class, I would say, because we needed to like write a paper, and it's also a seminar class, so it can be a little challenging at times. But I think I learned the most from that class.
My favorite course that I've taken in the communications department had to be COM 106I Internet Industry with Professor Irene.
Probably internet industry with Irani.
I learned a little bit more about artificial intelligence and the back end of how computers and algorithms work, and I was really excited by it. And she was such a wonderful, steady hand in my graduate.
Oh, I would definitely have to say this class. It's a three like portion class. So fall, winter, spring quarter, the class kind of looked a little bit different where we were brainstorming and then actually carrying out our research and then kind of refining and editing it. And I think just going through that whole process taught me so much about like long-term dedication to a specific project. And it was like my own research. So like everything I was reading was informing the research I was doing. And we also kind of went through like the research process together as a class.
My favorite class has been propaganda and persuasion, which I took with Professor Caroline Jack. I think it was really interesting to learn about like the systems of like historical propaganda and then also like how we see the like media try to sway society's thinking in certain ways. And yeah, I really enjoyed that class.
For me, what I love about this degree is that I'm able to learn a lot while also focusing on what I want to do. So I've taken a lot of my classes geared towards filmmaking and studying film and doing production courses. But I've also had a really good background in theoretical research. So I'm able to use that stuff while I'm developing the movies I want to develop.
I'm currently in the job hunt process, and I'm learning that I can get pretty much any kind of job because my skills apply to marketing, sales, and so many other areas. And the entire time, I get to just continue being myself, having fun, and not having to worry about numbers or statistics or some type of science class or anything like that.
I feel like I've learned about communication like in a theoretical point and just literally like those initial like COM 10, COM 100 series really helped me frame like how I viewed like life and like college and like that whole transition.
The comm department, it taught me everything that I know, and it allows me to analyze the world from such a different point of view when it comes to, just day-to-day things and even just how to interacting with people. And it gives me this new profound perspective on life.
One thing I really appreciate about the communication department is since it is smaller, I think everyone is like a lot more close knit, and I feel like the professors really care.
Meeting my peers was such a gift. And I feel like I've definitely grown as a student and learned that I could do so much more than I ever thought I could.
I've had some amazing times to build community and to really get to know my department in a different way than others.
I'd have to say the people. I'm such a people person. I love people. I love people that have similar goals to me. I love seeing people succeed. And I've found all those people in the communities department, and I've been able to pursue the career path that I want to pursue because I've had support from those people. It's the best department on campus because it has the best people on campus.
Okay, thank you everybody for attending today. I think this is actually bringing us to the end of our time. So I want to thank Professor Fatal and Melanie Lynn and Elisa and Lorraine and Griselda and Dave for hosting us from UCSD Admissions. If you have questions, please reach out to us over email. And you can also visit our social media, follow us. go to our YouTube channel, and all the other good things. So hopefully we'll see you soon.